I'm Angela Nuttall, CEO and founder of the School of Executive Presence. Have you been asked the question, what is your mission? What is your calling? What is it that you are really meant to do? Chances are at some point you have been posed with this question. Some of you may have put this to the side simply because you're trying to go to work, you're trying to earn an income, and you're really just trying to survive the rat race that is happening in the business world today. But I'm here to tell you that in order to step into your executive presence, it's time to really figure out what it is that you are being called to do. Why is this important? It's important because we know that there are 10 characteristics of executive presence, and the number one characteristic identified by CEOs and business leaders is values in action. Values are what really fuel your mission. And in order to figure out what your mission is, we need to do some discovery about what your values truly are. But that's not all. In order to live your mission, you have to have a certain mindset. And there's a right mindset to have, and there are some obstacles that get in the way of our mindset, and we're going to explore those in today's session. Finally, as you live your mission and you put on the right mindset, you also have to make sure that that's coming out of your mouth. I have a saying that I borrowed from an old book, and the saying is that life and death are in the power of the tongue. So a good question to ask yourself throughout this whole session is, am I speaking life? Am I speaking life into my mission, or am I putting it to death? Am I putting it to sleep and pushing it to the side just so that I can survive? People with executive presence, remember, are at peace with themselves. And so it's really important for us to figure out what your mission is, what is the role that you're being called to do, and how you actually get ready for that role and start to execute on it. Let's take a look at our topics for today. We're going to explore 4 different areas today. First of all, the obvious, we're going to explore mission and do some values cultivation and discovery. Second, we are going to understand what does the right mindset really look like and what are the things that get in the way of that. Third, we're going to explore how that actually comes through your mouth, and you'll get a tool today to start using immediately to change the way that you are showing up in the business world. And finally, we're going to broach the topic of emotional intelligence because it requires emotional intelligence in order to live your mission and not be impacted by every wind that blows you about in business. Let's go ahead and get started now. It's time to assess really what your values are. You'll have a section in your workbook where you do some discovery around this. I've crafted several questions for you to walk through. I also encourage you to create your own questions to really get clear on what your values are and if you are truly aligning with those. If you find that you're not, then it tells me that your power source, confidence, and authenticity are unplugged somewhere and you need to get plugged back in. It's important to grasp that when you are living your mission, which is fueled by your values, you are going to show up as much more confident and also as authentic. Those are 2 key factors and 2 key ingredients that people look for when they're trying to build trust and be in relationship with you. Executive presence is highly emotional, and it is about relationship. And no one wants to be the friend of someone who doesn't demonstrate confidence and doesn't demonstrate authenticity. My experience has been that you don't figure out your values in a singular day. It really takes time to figure out what are your true values. Sure, we can throw out values that we think are important or that we think we are supposed to have. A frequent one that I hear is family. People all the time say, oh, family is a huge value for me. But what does that really mean? And are you aligning with that? Are you showing up with that in your daily life? Or are you the person who you're always staying late and you're always sacrificing time with your family in order to get work done? That tells me that either you're not in alignment with your values or maybe you are valuing something more.